Howdy, friends and neighbors. It is RGR football, and we're going to have a good time tonight. A lot of questions. I'm going to have a lot of answers for you. We have some great topics. The Chiefs made a few moves today. We'll go over that as well as get into all of your questions about where we are with pretty much everything going on with the team. The rookies are there. The veterans are on their way. I know a couple of guys are traveling already, so we're going to get in to the thick of it. This is going to be a fun night for your questions and answers. Welcome to RGR football. Hey, everybody, it's Monday night. It is the first Monday night of the training camp era. You're going to see guys on the field here in 2 days. I'm pretty excited about it. I know you guys are as well. Welcome back to RGR Football. If you're new, click the like and the sub and the bell notification so you'll find out. You'll get a little notice when we're doing something. We're live on Monday and Thursday nights. We'll have a live post game once the regular season gets going. And then we have all kinds of film review, stat review, in-depth looks at particular player spotlights, the whole 9 yards. The crew around here is growing. You're going to have some extra content from our members, Gooch and Keys. You guys are going to see them every week coming up, maybe a few more surprises. So we're excited about it. It's going to be a fun time. A lot going on here tonight. A flurry this afternoon. Chiefs had to make a couple of moves, a number of things around the league as well. I'm sure we'll get into it, and I'm guessing that you OU and Texas fans probably have something to say about it as well. Want to get started. I can't put it on the screen because it was must have been really early, but Howard Estel, thank you very much for your super chat and supporting the channel. If you guys do want to support the channel, super chats are an easy way to do it. You can do it right in the live chat room. There's a little icon down there. Throw something at us. Whatever you choose to help us out with, please, whatever the dollar amount, please put a question in there so I can get you something for it, and I will do that tonight. I will try to get to everybody's questions. I know there are a couple of folks. Sometimes I do run out of time, but if you would put some question marks at the beginning of your questions, it will help me find them, and I will do my best to get to everybody's question tonight, super chat or not. But there's always that. If you super chat us and help us out, I will make sure no matter what that I answer every last one of those super chats. Howard asked, I would really love to see Gay and Bolton on the field together early and often. And I think his question is, do you agree? And I do. And I think that's smart in a number of ways. A, because they look to be the pair of the future. But even beyond that, it also gives Hitch some rest. And I don't think they want to count on Nick Bolton running the defense this year. I think that would be a mistake in their eyes. I think they probably want to take that a little easy on him in terms of like the volume that he has to put out mentally. But it gives Hitch some physical rest, and I think that's going to be a good thing at the age that he is. That's always a plus. And that allows him to be in more reps, in more meeting rooms, talking with Nick Bolton too. And that direct exposure, I think, is what's going to help Nick come along and get ready. So thank you, Howard. We appreciate the support. There's a lot to what's going on too. Ben Brockback, thank you for your super chat. It's the development of those rookies that I think is really key to what they want to see happen. And the Hitch thing is just part of it. There's also some other vets that are going to need some rest as well. So let's hope that early in camp, they get a lot of rotation. First couple of days should be nice and light. After that, we're going to get in the thick of it. So I see a lot of questions in here. I'm going to go back. Thank you, Ben, always for the support. And Ben, you have an invite to the Discord waiting in your inbox out there. If you would go get signed up, we'd love to have a chat with you. There's a lot of folks that are already over there, including all the staff. If you guys want to get a little bit more different kind of access through the Discord, which is our private server for our members to converse, put pictures up, etc. We're all in there from time to time during the week. And it is a lot of fun. I try to get in there as much as I can when I'm not shooting videos, etc. But you can do that by becoming a member. Right now, we have the elites, the all-stars, and the starters are starting to get invites. We're going to take it down to rookies eventually, but there's a lot of folks to get through. I have 2 emails or contacts from Michael and Michael. And if you are one of those starter-level members, hit me with your email address at rgrpodcasts gmail.com. You can find that also on the about page of this channel. You can email me that way, or you can reach out on Instagram or Twitter as well. Just so we can get some contact. I have to email you and invite, that kind of thing, get you a link. And that's how you get into the Discord, which again is members only. Ben, thank you as always. I'm sure you have a question underneath here. There's a couple ahead of you I'm going to grab though, just before they go sliding off of my screen before I scroll. Dee wants to know, where's the Tyrant extension? I think it might be like sign it and walk out to the first practice is what's in my head. Maybe it doesn't happen. Maybe they're still negotiating. But that's kind of what I'm expecting, is it's going to be last minute as they get ready to actually hit the practice field. I'm not concerned about it at this point. If we get to week 1 of the regular season and there's no contract extension, then we can start getting worried about it. But until then, I think we're all good. Let's see. If you were going to guess, who do you think Veach and company have if you were to guess, why do you think Veach and company haven't extended? I think it's just it's a minutia thing. It's probably coming down the last deadlines make deals in this league. And so it's like, hey, we need to get you on the field. Let's meet in the middle one more time. Like, maybe they might be $5,000 apart at this point. I don't know. I couldn't tell you, but I do still have plenty of faith that it's going to get done. Brent, thank you for that thought. I appreciate it. Scott, what's the biggest overhype myth already coming out of training that we should be dispelled for the rogues and the working brains? Honestly, that everything's written in stone. Like, there's a lot of folks that seem to think like the depth charts are set and there's a lot of competition out here in this particular training camp, you guys. Whether it's the backup tight end spots, both of them, whether it's the depth wide receivers, the depth corners, there's a lot of competition. It is right now, it is a hodgepodge along the offensive line. I really want to see if Kyle Long's better or if he's still on the rehab progress. Like, that's going to say a lot as well. And how they bring that line together, that's going to be very key. Ben, there's your question. Just how jacked is Spags about the CB room? Ward, Baker, Sneed, Fenton, Hughes, then who? That's a good question. You'd hope that it's OP Keys back there. I think they have some interesting guys in Boodle. And the other guy whose name just slipped out of him, I literally said it 5 minutes ago, but hey, I think there's a couple of interesting options there. And I think right now it would go in a slightly different order. They still have probably Sneed as their one, Ward, Fenton, Baker, then Hughes. But there's a lot left. I mean, this is just the beginning of camp. This is something we're going to see a lot of things that enlighten us as to where people are in their abilities to play this defense. Brent, do you think that the Chiefs corners are a major issue right now? Or do you think that our pass rush and safety play will be able to cover it? I mean, it's a bit of a concern. Only if Sneed and Ward, if one of them has to miss time, it's a concern. I think Fenton can probably fill in pretty well. He's a little exposed to long speed. You'll see teams go at him deep. The rest is all question marks. So, like, there is still a little bit of concern. Could they still trade for somebody? They could. It depends how I think this first week or so goes. By, let's see, they start on the 28th. By about, say, the 10th, 11th of August, they're going to have a good idea. That's 3 days before the first preseason game. They're going to have an idea what they're looking for. And then if they're really concerned, they'll start looking to maybe find a trade partner again. Cole, ridiculous they're retiring Warpaint. Do you think that's the start of the organization wanting to change the team name? I don't think so. I don't think the team name is something that they really want. I know they don't want to do. I don't think they're going to allow it to get to that point. I think the Warpaint thing, I think that's something that, while some of the local Native American groups I think are okay with, I know some around the country aren't. And so I think it's a horse's name. I don't think it's a big deal. Is it a tradition? Yeah. But, I don't think that it's as offensive as some people think. I think it's more about appropriation. Like, that is something that belongs to that culture. And so I'm fine with that. It is what it is. I think the name is what becomes key in keeping the name. As well as the name of the stadium. So I think those are the only two things that must survive no matter what. And I think, quite honestly, there are some things like the Warpaint thing. I like the drum. I know some people don't care for that or think that that's offensive. But I think no matter what it is, it's an opportunity to come up and create new traditions. And I think that part's cool, so that they can go in a different direction, try some new things, take the organization that still looks like it did the day it was formed in this league, take it in a new direction in some ways. I think that part will be cool. So let's see. Modfather's in the house. Yes, he is. That would be our guy, Aaron Morrow. If you have trouble, or if you are trouble, Aaron will find you. You don't have to go to him. So for those of you who might be here, fans of other teams and everything, let's be cordial. Let's be respectful. We generally open people with open arms, as long as you come in not blasting people. So let's keep it nice. Let's see. Who is this? Joe. What's the meetup? What's the plan for the RGR meetup? Right now, I'm still trying to get things figured out. I believe I'm going to be there the 16th and 17th. I'm not 100% for the 18th, to tell you the truth. And I'm trying to work on when I can get away from work before then. If I can get in for the weekend, we'll try to do something. My hope is Saturday. There's a number of places around town I'd love to meet. Finding a central location is always tough. But for our fan base, if anybody here from Jack Stack or Q39 or Joe's, if any of you have, I know you all have some rooms that we could use as a informal meeting place. Folks can come and eat and say hello and do that kind of thing. I'd like to do it on Saturday afternoon before the first preseason game. It's away, so it shouldn't be taken. So I'm thinking that could work. That's my idea right now, Joe. I will let you know going into that week for certain. Don, did Chris Jones hit the peak sack production wise in 2018 with 15.5? As a DT, he did. That's a healthy number for a tackle. Now, if he actually transitions to playing end more, you could see more from him. 18, he had a lot more help, though, especially if Frank either misses time or Frank is not able to get back to where he was in the playoff run in 2019, then they need to help him more, because it's just too easy to focus on him. Even at end, they can still chip the snot out of him and do that kind of things. It won't be as productive for the other offenses, or counterproductive for Chris, as it is to have, two linemen double teaming him, but it's still a challenge. So no, I will not say that he's reached his peak. Let's just see how he makes that transition. Ryan, will the Tyrant deal get done soon? Yeah, I really do think, guys, it's going to be done this week when they start to practice. Maybe it'll be the first day. That's kind of like in the back of my head. That's my thought. Maybe it'll be a little bit after. I don't know. Travis, thank you for your super chat. Appreciate the support. Thomas, and yours as well. You always, guys, very, very generous, and I appreciate that. Joe, will they make any additional signings before the year? They signed somebody today, Drew Scott, right? Because they need a new long snapper, because they had to put James Winchester on the COVID list. He has COVID. And this is the interesting thing. And I know everybody was up in arms last week about, how they're forcing the guys to get vaccination, not by saying you have to go do it, but basically by making everything else so difficult. The Chiefs are pretty bought in. They're over 90%. And this is one of the reasons, because even with the vaccine, you can still get it. That's what happened to James Winchester. He was vaccinated in March, and he's got it. Now, the nice thing is the vaccine, if you do get it after you're vaccinated, it's called a breakthrough case. The symptoms are usually very, very mild, and the recovery is usually a bit quicker. So does that mean that he's going to be quarantined for 2 weeks? I don't know. Does it mean 5 days in isolation and you're out? I don't know. We're still waiting for the specifics of some of those things. We got all the gobbledygook last week about if you're not vaccinated, what it means, and there's an outbreak, but we don't know about those that are. And they're going to happen. Rich Eisen got it. There's a couple people from ESPN who have gotten it post-vaccination too. So it's going to continue to happen on some breakthrough cases. Let's hope that there isn't a variant that comes back in that's stronger than Delta. Knock on wood. Hey, Christo, how are you? How do you see the starting corners panning out right now? Let's hope nobody has any kind of nagging injuries. Everybody stays healthy. It's going to be Fenton, Ward. I'm sorry. It's going to be Sneed, Fenton, and Ward on the other side. If Ward gets either misses time or gets replaced at some point by Baker, you might be able to see Sneed travel and take the opponent's number one wide receiver and just take him all day. That's what I'm hoping for. I want to get him to that point. I think he's got it in him. I think Spags thinks he's got it in him. I just don't know when that's going to happen, because you can't just have one guy that travels. You have to have another guy that can flip, or another guy that can move inside out. And so that's where it becomes problematic, because you don't want to let the offense dictate the matchup by knowing that you're only moving one guy around. That becomes key. Let's see. Shout out. There you go. Gulf Shores GameStop. Okay. Roll the boat. How are you? News today, Aaron Rodgers is going to play for Green Bay. If he had been traded to the Broncos, what one move would you make? Oh, would that one move make them a contender in the division? A contender in the division. They'd make them certainly in the mix. Can they really beat them out in year one, even with an excellent quarterback? I don't know. Probably. It would probably make them a contender, because the defense is really solid in Denver. They've upped their ante in their secondary in order to combat the Chiefs' wide receiver group. So that leads towards that. I don't know that they can protect the quarterback great yet. I know they're improving, but I don't know that it's there yet. But here's the scary thing. The other thing that came out this afternoon is that they're working on a contract change that will let Aaron Rodgers out of Green Bay after this season. And Denver seems to be one of his preferred destinations. So it may not be over. It may just be delayed a year. And then there's the Desean Watson thing. Desean Watson has showed up, had a conversation with the organization, said, I do not want to play for you. Trade me. And now evidently they're open to trade offers. It's going to be huge. But you might see Desean Watson. He could land in Las Vegas. There are bigger things. There are bigger things that would catch me farther off guard, is my point. So, but yeah, it would make them a competitor for sure. With the caliber of O-line, do you think Clyde can reach 1,000? Absolutely. I think, quite frankly, he probably could have gotten to 1,000 last year, just to tell you the truth. It is the obstacle to Clyde hitting 1,000 yards rushing is the play call and how much Andy wants to use it. And whether it's Andy just wanting to pass more, or if it's Andy wanting to protect him for the playoff run, there's a couple of things that are going to come in there. But it's a 17-game season now. Easily he can hit 1,000 yards if they hand him the ball enough. That's really all it comes down to. I may have missed a couple. It just jumped when I scrolled to this one. So if you guys, if I missed you between Christo's two comments, make sure you ask it again, and I will get that in there. With the wide receiver room being set, who plays X? A, I don't know that it's set. And B, right now I still think Pringle has the best chance to be an effective player at the X. A guy that starts the games with Hardman and Hill. But let's be honest. The third receiver is going to be a rotation. D-Rob's going to get his starts. He got more targets, more snaps than anyone else at that position last time. I just feel like Pringle's been on a roll. And quite frankly, Pringle's running out of time. Pringle's older. He was an older guy coming out. This is kind of like his last chance. He's got to go seize it. And then there's Powell. There's Fountain. There's Callaway. There's a lot of options there. The two, McCole Hardman's going to have to make a lot of mistakes to come off the field, is my thought. They have to push him because they have to have his performance from him in order to get their draft capital out of it. So I don't think that he's going to come off the field a ton, at least not initially. Your thoughts on Kano, and should we be concerned about his health issue? Kano has a health issue? I must have missed that so far. He had a number of them in college. I'm not concerned about it. He needs a year to cook. He's not ready, in my opinion. I don't know that he's going to be ready to contribute this year, regardless of whether he's injured or not. He was not a dominant pass rusher at the college level. He's not going to be one here as a rookie, unless something just clicks and like it's the missing piece that he needed from the coaching staff. If he's injured, that's going to make it worse. So, just hold your breath. He might even start in the practice squad. He may rotate. I think both of those are viable scenarios for him. Carliner, do you have a watch list of players on other teams, if cut, you'd like the Chiefs to consider bringing in? I do. I always do. And it's not so much cuts for like the vets. Vets don't usually get cut. There are a couple that are like high dollar guys. Trying to think. There's a corner or two that always are on my list. I'd have to go look at it again. For me, it's the rookies. It's the day 3 draft picks that are on good teams that maybe there's so much competition they don't make it, or maybe they don't make the adjustment to their particular scheme, offense, defense wise. So there's definitely a couple of guys that I always keep a list for there. And that's just part of trying to keep up for it. I don't have anybody off the top of my head that I think's in danger right now. So we'll see how the first week or two of camp goes and see if anybody pops up on that list. Hog Farmer, how are you? Why is my wife growing a mustache? I don't know. Maybe she's watching too much RGR. I have no idea, man. Yes, RGR podcast at Gmail. Use this address, you guys, and that will send over to me so that we can get you invited. If you're right now, we're taking the starters into the Discord, starter level members. And if you're not a starter level member, we're going to get down all the way down to the rookies. If you're a draft pick or a rookie now and you want to bump up to starter to get access early, you can do that now. Just you can change whatever level of membership you are whenever you want. So feel free to jump in there and do that. But that's where you want to contact me. Let's see. John S. in Idaho. What's your thoughts about KU and conference choices? It's a tough one. When I was at KU, we were still Big 8. So like I don't mind them going back to an 8-team conference myself. There's just not a lot of power there. Certainly not on the football side. Basketball side, there still would be with Iowa State and them in particular. But I think there's options. I could see the Big 12 completely imploding, to tell you the truth. Especially because Texas, I think, has been kind of leading the way in terms of like the organizations, like the Big 12 administrative people, I think, are leaning towards Texas. They go SEC and Oklahoma goes SEC. You could see some others drift to the Mountain, drift to the Big 10. I could see Iowa State going Big 10. You could see KU end up maybe in the Pac. I don't know. It could be possible. I mean, Colorado's in the Pac-12. They made the transition. Could KU? The Pac-12 might like it because Pac-12 is oftentimes a very good basketball conference that is second fiddle really to the football programs. You could see that even out. You add KU to that. And quite frankly, it might help KU in recruiting for the football side as well. So I could see a number of different scenarios. I just don't know what contractually they're tied into the Big 12 for, or if the Big 12 has to completely fall apart for any of these things to happen. So that's where I'm at, John, till we know more. Your thoughts on the non-talked about guys like Damone Harris, Austin Edwards, and Darius Harris. I think Darius Harris has got a good leg up to be on the roster if they keep 6. If they don't, it's going to be a battle. Damone Harris is my dark horse edge rusher. I think it's down to him and Tim Ward, to tell you the truth, because I think Damone's had some bright spots. He didn't do a whole lot last year. If you guys missed my stream last week when I showed you all the pass rushing stats, they certainly need some help on the edge. And Tim and Damone both had like one game of snaps, so they weren't in that calculation last week. I threw that out because if you don't have enough snaps, one game is really, really hard to make a decision on. You got to have more volume. And so I could see it either way. If he's set, he looks a little bit thicker to me, at least from the pictures and OTAs. If he comes in thicker and he's still as explosive, he has a chance. And I wouldn't mind seeing it. So that's where I'm at. Thank you, Josh, for the support. Appreciate it. What rookies are you starting the first half of the season? Whew. Oh, Dan made it. Dan will help me with this one. I can tell you one that he's going to name right now. How are you, Mr. Harms?
Oh, I'm doing really, really well. I mean, I think we have to go backwards with the potty training with my daughter, but it is what it is. Sometimes she refuses to do anything.
Yeah.
And just holds it all day until she gets a diaper at night. So whatever. Going backwards.
Oh, I wasn't ready for that one. Okay.
You're welcome. I appreciate I can bring something.
Well, let's go forward. What rookies do you see starting in the first half of the season? Like
so
to have starts.
Have to have starts. I think it's only got one. I think Powell is going to be the only one that actually starts a game or starting maybe not what I'm looking at. I'm maybe playing the majority of the snaps. I would consider a start.
So you're not thinking Reed Humphrey's a starter right now?
That's not what I meant. I apologize. Yeah,
okay,
that was my fault. I was just I've already slotted him in as a starter, so I'm just like I know that he's just going to be a part of the line, so I don't even like assume that he's a rookie for that matter. So yeah, he's definitely going to be the starting center, and I think that Powell's going to have a couple games where he's playing amongst the leaders at the wide receiver position in terms of getting snaps.
Okay, I'm with you there. I can see that. I would probably put Bolton number 2 is my thought. I think Hitch could turn an ankle and miss a game, whatever, or just maybe they sprinkle him in. I don't know.
Yeah, but I think that's not what's the word I'm looking for? The interpretation of the question that I'm really going
Fair
for.
Fair enough.
Because what rookies are you starting? I know you're not going to start Nick Bolton.
No, I'm just building out the question for you. That's it. No, Creed was pretty much the only one that I feel really strongly he's going to start.
Oh yeah, for sure. So, I'm already thinking he's a veteran, so
the way he talks, man, and he went to the O-line summit. He only got smarter down there, so
yep,
that always helps. What's the plan if Buck Kicker gets hurt? Cross your fingers and sign a kicker. I mean, I don't know that they have one. I don't think they're going to carry another one. I can't remember. Do they even have another one signed right now? I'd have to look.
No, they don't.
They don't. Okay.
I would think it would just go to the punter. To be honest, to be completely honest with you, that's what they did with Colquitt a couple of times in injury, didn't they?
Yeah, I don't know that Thompson's ever kicked field goals though. Colquitt had at some point.
Oh, well, still, I think that would be their backup plan. There might be somebody on the roster that can kick field goals. I don't know. That I know what Sherman was someone that was like a backup. He was a backup quarterback, and not many people knew about it. So, like, there's emergency people on the roster, so we don't really know who would come into that situation.
I wonder if Mike Burton can kick. I'm gonna have to ask him. That would be funny.
I want to see Kelsey kick a field goal.
I don't. I didn't want to see Kelsey throw a pass either, but it happened. I didn't.
That's a pass. That's different.
Right? Yeah. Right now, there is not another kicker on the roster.
I didn't think so.
So that would be the plan, Steve. Scott, your thoughts on Mitch Schwartz having a master class with the new alignment? I would love that. It's over now, though. They wouldn't have time to do that. They wouldn't implement that now. If they had, they would have done it over the summer, and maybe that's something they'll do going forward. I still think he wants to play. I just don't know if his back's going to let him.
I think he's pretty much done in that front, to be honest with you.
Yeah, maybe. Outside of the clear stars on the team, who is your favorite player and why, Dan?
Outside of the clear stars. So it's already like Creed Humphrey. Like, he's one of my absolute favorite players from what I saw in college. Just the way that he boasts himself as a player. I think he's going to be an incredibly intelligent and thoughtful leader of this offensive line when it's all said and done. So he's already one of my favorites.
Okay. Let's see. I try not to have favorites, you guys. I try to be an analyst first and a fan second.
This is your fan side talking, not your analyst side.
Yeah, I know. I like the way Juan Thornhill carries himself. He seems to be a pretty upbeat, pretty positive dude. Somebody that is not just there to do his job, but can lift some other people. He's a little quieter than some.
Yeah,
that's fine. Somebody else that was sticking out to me.
For me, it's Daryl Williams is like that other guy that comes in.
Right.
He's one of my favorite, just people in this entire team. He's so awesome.
Super mellow, just here to get his job done. They call him dirty, and I'm not sure why. That's a story that I do want to hear. Maybe that's what I want.
Please.
And I will say this: I've only talked. You guys saw the one conversation I had with Mike Burton. I like him a lot as well. Good dude. I will pull for him to continue the fullback strive. Mark, which player are you most excited about to see at camp, and that's not being talked about much? Whew.
I mean, I feel like if we're discounting what we talk about, it's Mike Dana for me. Yeah, I don't think he's getting much coverage from anybody. I know I've talked about him a lot because I'm excited to see him this year, but I truly believe I'm really excited to see him at camp this year to see if he's got a little bit more burst in him, if he's worked with his hands a little bit more. I'm really excited to see his development.
Yeah, that's fair. For me, it's Baker.
Yeah,
I just don't. Because he played so little last year, I haven't seen him live yet.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen him since he was at Georgia. I want to see him on the field. So, yeah, that's fine. Mr. Porter, hope you're doing well as well, my friend. Who is one Browns offensive player the KC defense needs to know where he is in week 1? I mean, they say OBJ is OBJ again. I don't know. But I'll tell you this, unless there's something wrong with that coaching staff and they've lost their mind this offseason, they're going to take Nick Chubb and cram him down the Chiefs' throats all day long until they prove that they can stop the run. That's where you got to know where he is.
Yep. That's the answer. And if it's not him, it's OBJ, just because I think that even if he's not fully back, you still kind of have to know where he is on the field most of the time. And I think that Matthew will have that down.
Yeah, I'm with you. Scott, any Zen gurus that can help with Frank with inner peace hand fighting so he doesn't. Oh, yeah. Zen is not, I think, what the issue is, man. Thomas, thank you. Good evening. And I have a different type of question because I don't live in KC, but I usually come down for 4 games a year. It would be wise to make plans to come out this year. Okay. I mean, there are a number of games. Dan, you're going, what is it, Bills?
I am. He's just asking if it would be wise to come out this year.
Oh.
Would it be wise to make plans? Because I think he's probably talking about Missouri being one of the higher.
Oh, okay.
COVID.
See, this is why I need you on the streams because I can't write. I obviously can't read. I mean, if you're vaccinated, I think you're okay. There are going to be breakthrough cases, but again, like if you get exposed, you're less likely to get it. If you get sick, you're less likely to have severe symptoms. The people that are hospitalized in ICUs and are, having fatalities right now are those that are unvaccinated. No. So I would say if you're prepped, you're good. Mr. Green Acres. I'm sorry, I'm just changing your name up, man. How are you?
I'm really are. Green Acres.
I changed it. It's the place to be. Because I can never say his name right. And the whole giant thing, like I've tried to go through themes. It just doesn't work. Hope you're doing well, man.
How you doing, man?
Thank you. Yes. You can always help us out, and then you get a bunch of extra stuff, and we have some cool stuff coming for you guys. We're always switching it around here, so hey. Which player do you think will get disrespected in the CFL, in the NFL top 20 or top 100? All of them? I don't know.
I think it'll be Hill.
You think?
I do. I think he's going to be lower than he should be.
Okay.
I think it's going
to be the defense. Snead and Jones.
I can understand Snead at some point. I think Chris is well known enough to be the second best defensive tackle in the NFL. Snead's still, he was injured a little bit last year, so he's probably not going to be even on the list because of that specific reason. He didn't play the whole season, and he switched positions. He was outside and he was slot. So I think that there's a lot to go into that. And I just think that a lot of people think that Tyreek Hill is just all about speed. Like, that's it. Like, that's the only thing that people see. They don't see the other stuff. So
that's true.
Even if it's voted on by the players,
I hear you.
Still feel like that.
I'm with you. Brent, my hat. This is from the American Homebrewers Association. When you go to the conference and you cover it, they give you a hat, so that you can walk around. Yeah, this is where I get my info and I learn to make beer better. So, yeah, cheers to the AHA. Nice people. Stop laughing, Dan.
Sorry.
I am multifaceted. I am a three-dimensional person.
Trust me. I know. The beer is awesome. I can't wait to try it someday.
Yes, I will. Yeah, man, if I had some I could bring with me, it will not go on the plane. They will not let you. So sometime I'll have to drive. I'll probably be driving in December, though, folks. So think Christmas presents. Brett, do you think the Chiefs can reach a top 5 defense if they add a linebacker the caliber of Urlacher to go with Tyrant? I mean, sure. Let's go add a Hall of Famer off the street.
That doesn't even make him a top 5 defense. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the linebacker doesn't have the hit that it used to. Honestly, no. I think it's either if you could trade for a shutdown corner or a 15-plus guaranteed sack guy. Those are the two things that will make them a top 5 defense.
They need 3 things, really. They need another top-flight corner. They do need a linebacker to help solidify the rest of the linebacker group, and they need that pass rusher. Those really are the 3 areas, and it's unfortunately at every level of the defense. They need one person to really put them to that upper echelon.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. Cole, what team do you think actually trades for Watson in the end? It sounds silly to me. I think it's a mistake. I think it's going to be the Dolphins.
I think it's going to be the Eagles.
Yeah.
And still a mistake.
That's a mistake, too. I'll take Jalen Hurts as a backup tomorrow. Well, I like him.
I like him, but I think that just trading for Watson when you don't have a clue what's going to happen with him is a mistake in its own right. Not because I think that Hurts is going to be good, because I still have questions about Jalen Hurts' football acumen, let's just say.
That's fine. I like him. I think
I like him too. I like Jalen Hurts.
He needs a different coaching staff. He needs an experienced coaching staff.
He's got Nick Sirianni now, man.
That's where I'm coming from too. But I like Jalen. I think he has the potential to do it. Andrew Armstrong, thank you, sir. Appreciate the support. How long do you think Chris Jones can be as dominant as he is? I think he can do this another 4 or 5 years and be this good.
Mm-hmm. I agree. That's a perfect timeline. It's a perfect timeline.
Okay. Do you see, and thank you for the super chat. We appreciate it. Do you see the DE position as a position the Chiefs have to go after in the first 2 rounds of next year's draft? I don't know if they have to. I think they will, because I think the class will be good enough. I mean, if it was like they didn't go after a tackle in this draft because the tackles weren't good enough, you guys.
No.
They weren't long enough. They weren't good enough. If that were the case with this DN class, then I could see them, ignoring it again. But I think there's more than just Thibodeau, and I only throw his name out because I've only ever seen him.
Yeah.
I don't do film on the class until after the Super Bowl, so then I'll have a better idea.
So I 100% believe they will. There's too many uncertainties going forward. There's 1-year contracts for, Taco Charlton, now Alex Okafor. And there's guys in Tim Ward and Josh McCain that, to be frank, there's not enough information about. And they're long shots to pan out in the NFL. So I do believe that they're going to go for somebody in the first round or the second round of the draft next year to help solidify a position that, since they let go of Justin Houston, has been rather underwhelming. Let's just be honest.
Right. Hey, it is what it is. Truth sucks.
Yeah.
Don, could the Chiefs trade for Chandler Jones? I would like to see them explore it, especially if they'd be open to taking Frank. I mean, you have 2 guys that are high dollar that are unhappy. Maybe it makes sense for both organizations just to flip them, to give them a new home. You know what I mean? Like, it's about the same risk either way. But no, I think Chandler Jones could be an interesting piece in this defense.
Yeah, I would love to see him at least try. Make a phone call. Show us some interest.
Yeah. Ben, thank you again, as always. Another one. I'm sure you have a comment down here. I will go get that. And thank you, Aaron, for reminding everybody. Please, guys, put the question marks in the beginning. Ladies as well. Ian, is Noah Gray faster than Kelsey? No, he is not. He was not timed faster. He doesn't look faster on film to me. You guys don't want to know what he looks like on film to me. You're going to find out in a day or two. I'm trying to wrap that up. But no, it is not a Kelsey clone. He's not a Kelsey clone.
And that's not I don't think that's the idea either. I think they're looking for someone that can give them third down catches. That's what, for me, that's what I see when I see Noah Gray. I don't see somebody that's coming in to be Travis Kelce eventually or later down the road. I see someone that they can bring on the field in 2 tight end sets and say, people are going to go to Travis Kelce. You're going to be open. Just catch the ball. That's all it is.
Yep. And he's pretty good at contested catches. He's not going to run away from people. He's not here to be yak. He's going to catch the ball. Ben, who do you think survives out of the wide receivers? All right, run down your 4 through 7.
So I think we all know. I'm just going to go all, because why not, right?
Okay.
At this point, I will say Demarcus Robinson will be on the roster opening day. So, we got Hill, Hardman, Pringle, Robinson. I think we're going to see 2 more guys in Powell and Callaway. I think that's what it's going to be. Okay. They're going to keep 6 receivers.
Okay. So Robinson, Pringle at 3 and 4.
Yep.
Then Callaway and Powell fighting for 5th, maybe 4th. See what happens. I'm with you.
With Robinson there, there'll be fights for 4th. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He's not going away easy.
No.
I don't know if he's going away at all.
No.
If he decides to put it all together.
Yeah. If he comes into camp and he's just like, hey, guys, I'm going to start mossing all of you, then fine.
He has potential. You guys, I'm going to have to stop here because I missed 2 people's. But Pure Clutch, I want to make sure I get yours. Thank you for the super chat.
Yes, thank you.
But he asked how you can become a member and get juicy. I like that. Get into the mix. There's a button down underneath Dan's mic. It's a blue outline. It says join. And then it'll bring up a screen and it'll give you a bunch of selections of tiers.
Down here somewhere.
Yeah, it's down there somewhere.
I'm having a hard time navigating this.
I see. It's not that easy, is it? But just click join. It'll give you a bunch of options. If you want to get into the extra videos, it's the rookies. If you want to get into Discord, right now it's the starter level, that kind of thing. It's just a monthly thing that goes on over and over. No big deal. Thank you for the super chat, though, and we appreciate you wanting to be a member. Jake, thank you for the super chat. I didn't scroll fast enough, but I want to get yours. Shout out to Mr. Province. We don't hear of an extension for Tyrant. Is there a chance they will use the tag on him next year or let him loose? I mean, economically, using a tag on a safety isn't a terrible idea, but I really don't think they want to get to that. If you get to that, then your relationship has soured with the player, and they don't want that. They want him happy. They want him leading. I don't have any fear that this extension is going to get done.
Me either. I'm pretty comfortable, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Mr. Julian, glad you made it back.
Thanks, man.
You have an invite in your email to get into the Discord. I know folks want to talk with you, so if you don't get that,
Julian?
Yeah, come on in. It's interesting. It's like a private. It's a server just for us. It's like a private chat Reddit kind of thing. You can do a bunch of stuff.
I don't think you're on Twitter, so it'll give us a chance to talk.
Yeah, there you go. Sean, do you think that, or who do you think will line up at Sam linebacker right now? Possibly Bolton. I think it's going to start as Neiman, and I think you could see Bolton go out there.
I'd be very interested to see Bolton at a Sam position. I'm just going to say it. I don't think that fits his play style at all. So
no. But if you need to get him reps, I don't think you can put him at will. I don't think you can put him at will.
Probably not. No, just got to get him on the field sometimes. So they might even just interchange, like you said, with Neiman and Bolton. Just kind of like just kind of figure it out.
Yeah. I think pay attention to this preseason games, guys. It's going to be really telling. If he gets in there and makes some noise, you're going to see some things change.
Yeah.
This is why I don't go to camp until after the first preseason game, because somebody steps out and claims their territory in the preseason games. Steve, we talked about Chandler Jones, Cincinnati. How are you? What do you think of the worst and the best KC offseason move? Oof. I mean, it might be the same one.
That's a very good point. I think I know where you're going, so you go ahead.
You can't walk in Andy Reid's system and just play like you're playing in Baltimore.
No, that's not where I'm going. But
okay, that's where I'm going, because Orlando Brown is all pro material, but this is not a plug and play. This is not what he did in Baltimore. It is a transition for him. You guys are good. I think some fans are going to be frustrated with him in the beginning of the season because it's going to take a little while, I think. There's no way to say that that's the worst move.
No. Yeah.
But what were you thinking?
No, I mean, the overpay for Joe Thuney is just, it's a little much for me. I think he's a very solid left guard. I think he's going to be very solid. I'm not sure he's going to get back to what he was in New England and Kansas City. I think he'll be good, but I don't see a potential for him to be the second or third best guard in the NFL with that contract here. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know. I won't put the performance portion of it out of his reach. Again, it's a transition.
Yeah.
He's had more things in common in the New England offense than Orlando did in the Baltimore offense.
For sure.
I don't know.
He's also playing guard though, so
true.
The transition from guard to guard. Is not exactly
right.
But he went from playing right tackle to left tackle to a different system at left tackle. So, I mean, a little different.
Fair enough. Holly, glad you're in here, and Trish too.
Good to see you guys.
Ooh, good one. Who has an uphill battle in camp? Jody Fortson does. Yasser Durant does. Callaway, Fountain. I mean, there's a number. Opie Keys has an uphill battle. Dorian Daniel has an uphill battle. So does Riley Cole, for those of you that dig him. Lot of battles. This is the most like up for grab positions that I've seen in a post Super Bowl team in a number of years.
Yeah. I think that Watts is going to have kind of an uphill battle too, if we're being honest about his progression. He's not practicing. He might not practice at all, and that might put him in a bad spot.
Okay. Thank you, Jeff. I guess I say
yes, thank you,
too
Jeff.
much. I probably do that. That's probably, but hey,
that's fine.
I'm old. What are you going to do? I'm starting to embrace it. I'm just so tired of hearing it. Hey, whatever.
That's what you brought me on for.
Don't worry, guys. When I croak, I'm going to leave the channel to Dan. It's fine.
He's not going to go away anytime soon, so don't have to worry about that.
Casey Masterpiece, how you hanging, dude? Do you feel like Pringle will get the number 2 spot? Right now, he's my favorite.
Yeah.
What do you put the odds at?
No, I think he'll walk into week 1 as the X receiver. I believe that.
I think he'll get the start. I don't know if he's going to play the most snaps.
Yeah, I actually think he will for the majority of the first month at least.
You do? Okay.
I do think that Powell's going to start working his way. I think that he's got that skill set. And I think that, again, we've talked a little bit about why he went in the 5th round, because he had 6 games. Like, this was almost a Willie Gay-esque type of thing, but he's not the supreme athlete that Willie Gay is at playing at a position of vital need that they needed. So I think that people did not even watch a lot of his tape. And I know that there's people out there that didn't watch Cornell Powell's tape because they were like, who is this guy?
Right.
And I was like, I know who that is.
I didn't watch his tape. I mean, I watched him be the only guy that Trevor Lawrence threw to his pro day. I'll tell you that.
It was funny because, like, I legit only reason I even saw him because I was watching Amari Rodgers. Like, that's it. And Travis Etienne for the draft class. And then there's this guy, like, why is he making this catch? Why is he's going? Trevor Lawrence trusted him a lot for a guy who was like a 4th or 5th year senior who they had behind a bunch of people. He was like, yeah, I'll throw it to you. I don't care.
Yeah. So and that means something too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what's going on in Jacksonville, but that means something. I will say this. I'll put Pringle at 55% to be the starter.
Okay.
That's where I'll break it down. Errol, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Seriously, Dirty Dan is your favorite. We all know it's too juicy.
That's a juicy answer, but it's a wrong answer.
I'm gonna need a napkin with that one.
I had leftover ribs from last night.
Oh, did you really? Yeah,
man, so good.
I feel like people think that we like have a dislike for Dan.
You see, and that's the thing. Like, I think we talked about this last week or the week before. I don't dislike Dan Sorensen. What he brings to the team, the work ethic, and I do believe this is specifically what we talked about. Like, the things that I have so much respect for how he has carved out a role in the NFL for a very long time. So much respect.
Yeah.
But I also I recognize that everybody has things that they're not great at.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all it is. And maybe we take jabs at the fact that, he doesn't do a lot of things well. He's kind of a jack of all trades. Doesn't do anything at an elite level, but he does a lot of things okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. He's
a versatile player you can plug in. That's valuable. It's just not high end. That's what it is for me. Mike's pretty much done. He doesn't bring enough in the pass rush at all anymore. I don't think he's signed anywhere. I think he's ready to retire just about. So that's the only reason. Nothing about him other than time has caught up, I think. Scott with Okafor back, what's the D-line look like? Right now, there's no ruling on Frank. It looks exactly as it should. Frank on one end and Chris on the other for at least the pass rush downs. I think Okafor gives you quality backup with Taka. And I think between the two of them, you can get one player out of it for a season because I think they're both going to be hurt at some point.
Yeah.
So I think it was a smart maneuver. Thank you, Miss Holly. Appreciate it, though.
I do appreciate that.
The scales of justice. Thank you, Holly. Take off your serious thinking caps for a moment and tell me, in a crazy world where your commentator is part of your cap, how many draft picks is Mitch Holthus worth? Who are you willing to cut? Okay, so you got to fit Mitch under the cap. I mean, I don't know.
He's a 3rd round draft pick.
Okay.
And that's not because I don't think he's great. I think it's because he's a commentator.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about literal dollars, I mean, that's a rookie contract.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think if there's somebody that's like borderline, like, I'd trade Blake Bell for him, sure. I'll put Fortson in there. I don't care.
I put Demarcus Robinson up.
Interesting scenario, Levi.
I like it.
Mitch, don't take that the wrong way. If that just offended you, I have no idea whether I did or didn't.
I know.
But
I do apologize.
I don't want to.
I don't mean to tie your value to a third round draft pick. That's not what it is. That's not what it is.
Folks, I do want to point out the new graphics up here for the live stream. And it also does, I want to make it very clear for those of you that are new, almost 400 here tonight. We usually get in around 1,000 during the season. So I know that it's probably a lot of regulars, but live streams are Monday and Thursday. We're going to keep that through the season. And we're going to keep it going. Seth will be here on Thursday. He says he's fine. He says he's working through his backlog, so we should be good. I just wanted to point that out. Julian's back. How fast do you think the Colonel line will gel? Around what week do you think the line will be fully together? I say week 6. That's a pretty good estimation on your part, Julian. They seem pretty buddy. We're going to get a look at the franchise this week. It looks like they're following around Andrew Wiley of all people.
That's not surprising.
He is a funny dude. But I think that's what it comes down to is like the personal relationships will help that. I'll go out on a limb and say week 4.
I'm literally like right in between. Like I think that's the perfect spot for them. And if Humphrey catches on earlier, that's what this is going to hinge on. The offensive line will gel quicker if Humphrey catches up to speed and gets accumulated to the NFL game quicker. So it's almost up to him essentially when they decide to hit that stride. So I think week 4, week 5, week 6 is really a perfect timeline for that.
Oh, good Lord. I just saw the timestamp of that. That was 20 minutes ago. I'm way behind.
Oh, man. Here we go.
Dan, what's a surprise cut for Masterpiece?
I told you guys last week. I think it's the surprise is Demarcus Robinson.
Okay.
If it were to happen.
Adam 6, thank you very much for the super chat. Does Andy need to change up his game plan? We have weapons, but we don't have a plan to run. Those weapons become easier to cover and go Chiefs. Yeah, that's Andy Reid 2021 version, same as 2002 version. Run more, Andy.
He loves to run sometimes. Just depends on where he is on the field.
If it's inclement weather, he's comfortable with it because he doesn't want to put his quarterback at risk. He doesn't want to risk turnovers. He's happy to run. Just sprinkle it in a little more, coach. Come on. Thank you, Adam. What do you think about 7 linemen, Mahomes, Kelsey, Hill, and the running back in the 4-minute offense? Yes, and yes. I would do that all day long.
I would not be mad about that. I'll say that right now.
I like that plan, Michael. You're totally with it. Miss Holly, how are you? Has the NFL ever had any rules surrounding flu outbreaks and restrictions on players who haven't had the flu vaccine? No. Flu vaccine has like the average every year flu shot has always been encouraged by the NFLPA and the NFL, but has not been mandatory ever that I am aware of. And there's never been any repercussions. Masterpiece, your analytical assessment of Brown, is he going to be better than Fisher?
It really depends on his ability to adapt to this offense. If they make it easier for him in terms of not making him pull a bunch and use the athleticism that he doesn't necessarily have, then yes, I think he can be as good, if not better, than Eric Fisher was. But if we're talking about him being Eric Fisher in this offense, no. That's not going to happen. Let him be what he's good at.
Exactly. And let Mahomes do what he does. Steve, I don't think Patrick will bring her, but I think you'll see Brittany have her own suite. I don't think she's going to be in the stands with fans anymore with the baby.
Probably not.
Last cheese ball. I like that one.
Nice.
Thank you for the super chat. First training camp this year. You're going with the kids and the brother. Okay. Where's the best place to watch from for fan experience? That's a tough one. If you want to know what's going on in 11s, watch it from the stands because it's like you're watching a football game. If you want to get down and get dirty, get up along the fence. I love the D-line pit there right at the corner.
Oh, yeah.
You get to see them pretty close. They have a new one. They built another berm. There's another hill on the back side of the fields this year. I like the view, the long view. It's like watching all 22 when you're up on the hill. And now there's a whole second hill. So I would suggest checking that out. Are we understanding Damian Wilson's important to the defense? Underestimating. He had some pretty big plays in the playoffs. He did. I don't think they were because he's an outlandish player that is that much better than what they can have going forward.
Yeah, I think he was a replacement level player. When all comes down to it.
Okay. Dang it. I missed Longmorn. Longmorn, I have to shout you out individually. Thank you for the super chat. 50C for red. Oh, okay. Aaron gets $4 of this $5 super chat. We get 50 cents. Okay. I had to break it down there. Sorry, bud. Gooch. Okay. Gooch made it. Welcome back. Hope it was a good time today on your travels there, Gooch. Please take Frank. Take Frank a cheaper option. Dan's crush doesn't always start till week 9, maybe. Hi, Dan.
Hi, Gooch.
And then he said, is he caught up? We're getting there. And then he said, they need to sign Landlord before Seattle figures out. That's exactly it. And that one I can put on display because now I'm getting closer to caught up. That's the big thing. And if you guys missed my tweet the other day, if you guys don't follow us, let me hold on for a second, Gooch. I will change this because my Twitter handle is right there and Dan's is right there. Don't laugh. Come on.
No, you were here by yourself. It's not a big deal.
I was, and we had stuff up there until then. So
it's not a big deal.
But you can go hit my Twitter because I put it out there. And like the only thing that I said when we found out, I think it was Louis Riddick that put it out, that what Adams is looking for, like hurry Veach is what I said.
Yeah.
Go get it done because every minute that you wait is another minute that you're going to have to pay him more. Because if Jamal Adams gets done first, everything's getting more expensive. And 25 mil.
I don't think there's any way he gets.
I don't think so either. That's like a car deal, right? Yeah. You're asking 25. You're going to take 20. You know,
he shouldn't even be asking for 25.
Yeah, I mean,
just a linebacker.
I know, right? He's a defensive weapon, is what he calls himself.
Oh, okay, a defensive weapon that can't find the football.
Oh, well, there's that.
I mean,
cause turnovers and we can talk, buddy. Julian, to be honest, I don't see Tooney's current contract as an overpayment. In 2 years, it will be cheap. The salary cap is going up. That's true. And I think that particular position group has been down for a while. And it seems like they're going to start paying more and more guys that way. But anytime you set the market, man, it's tough.
And I'm not even, I think just in retrospect of what he's going to play at in relative to the contract, not talking about the salary cap in itself, I think that you paid him as an all-pro to play as an all-pro.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure you're getting the return on that value is all. That's all I'm saying. We'll see. And I hope he does. I hope I'm wrong, but I just don't see that coming back.
At this point, though, you got to remember when they made that signing, that much money, it was because they had struck out on the tackle they wanted. And they needed to get somebody that they knew they could plug in there and was going to be at least Pro Bowl level. Yeah. And I think that they did that. So you're right. I think the cap will grow. If the guys that I trust are right, we're talking it might be 300 in a couple years. That's huge. By the way, guys, Dan Kilgore retired today.
He did retire.
So for those of you that were asking about him being another backup spot, that is apparently over. Daryl, thank you again for the super chat. Who's going to be our wide receivers? Does Pringle have a chance? He definitely does. I hope that he becomes a starter. I'm giving him the slight edge right now. Brett, thank you for the support, Daryl. As always, do you think the Chiefs will get a new Flowers to go with Snead? Oh, like a new undersized but really, really crafty kind of guy? Man, I would like that. See, Avery would say yes. That's kind of how I felt about what's his name from Florida State in this last draft class. Junior. I can't remember who it was, but he was that like undersized, could play nickel, could get under things. It was exactly what I was thinking. Do you remember who I'm talking about, Dan, from Florida State? Junior. Somebody's
Sorry,
kid.
my daughter just came in and interrupted everything. So,
we saw. She was great. She's the star. I don't know why you're here.
Keep a naked baby off the TV.
Off
of it. Yeah. She just came off the bathroom, so I was trying to like make sure she couldn't do that. So, I'm thinking now.
Didn't even notice that.
I know. That's why I was like in my own way over here, just trying to like, oh, okay. So was a Nezraldine? Is that what it is?
No, the smaller guy. He's somebody's son. He's a second. Somebody the second.
Oh, yes. Now I can't. I know it.
Why am I spacing on this?
I don't know. Now I am too.
But Flowers was one of the guys that I made in his notes though.
Yeah, that makes sense.
With the undersized, the inside out ability. That's exactly Brett. Like
Asante Samuel Jr.
Yes. Good job.
He's killing me.
Yeah, that was tough. Oh wow. Let's see. My social, not cheese question, but any chance they add teams for the ACC? I mean, they could. I doubt it. Notre Dame was like just there for a 1 year, right? Would they want to come to the Midwest and try to dominate? Maybe.
I think that they might have to start coming into a conference. I think Notre Dame doesn't have much of a choice, especially because I think that the SEC is going to be the super league.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to be.
Jimmy, I can understand your concern. I don't think it's going to be playoff time, though. I think they'll have it sorted by then. Yeah. I think it's going to be the first few weeks that it's going to be like, oh yeah, wait, we're not ready. That's my thought.
I agree.
Gooch, please tell me you don't think Ward is our number 2, because that would make Snead the new Revis, because I would throw at Ward all game long, and they will.
They will.
I think that's what's going to happen. And that's why I'm saying Ward has to take a step up. He can't come in and be what he was last season. He has to move forward because Snead is better than him right now. And I think the league understands that. So while I do think teams will, want Snead to prove that it wasn't just a rookie phenom thing, they're going to test him. But I think they're going to find that, hey, his movement skills are there. He's going to be in position. I think they're going to go after Ward.
He's going to get a couple picks in the first couple games and be like, okay, time to just target this guy over here. And we talked about this yesterday. Like Ward needs to have that 2019 bounce back. He needs to take a step back to that level of gameplay, or it's not going to be looking very good.
Yeah,
I can tell you that.
Dre, I don't think he's going to start right away. He said yesterday that he feels he's close to 100%. Good for him. I didn't hear the training staff say that, so let's take it easy. But I got to tell you, from what I saw of his training and the fact that he was out there and they said he was full go in the rookie minicamp,
that's huge.
I do feel like he's going to be available for the season. I think he could eventually start. I don't think it's going to be right away. I think they're going to be very cautious with him, because if he were to re-injure that again, that could end a career.
Think about how Ward came in 2018. I think that's what we might see from DeAndre Baker. Work him in closer to the end of the season. If he's ready earlier, you get him, you sprinkle him in as much to get him ready. That's all you want to do. You don't want to overwork him. And then if he's starting into the playoffs, he gets hurt and you have to go backwards. You want to make sure he's got a foundation so he can start for long term.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Ryan, and Julian, I'm glad you'll check that. So he's going to check it, man.
All right, cool.
Ryan, I know Dan is huge on Powell, but those guys ahead of him, the team trust, that's true. That is something to overcome.
Very much.
But they selected him on purpose too. So like he's got something in his corner as well. What would it take for a 5th round rookie to surpass Pringle, Robinson, et cetera, to become the number 2? Make plays. That's it.
Be in the right spot when the quarterback needs you to be. Catch the ball. Like, I know that I'm being a little sarcastic about it, but Tyreek Hill has been the only consistent in this offense outside of Sammy when he's on the field, and that's inconsistent.
At the wide receiver spot, he means.
That's exactly what I mean. Yes,
okay.
I do. We're not talking about Travis Kelce because we all know that he's insane. Like, that's different. Yeah. At wide receiver, you have to be consistent. I think that Pringle is going to have an opportunity to do that. I think that Mahomes needs to throw his way a little bit more, and he's going to find that that's the case. So regardless of whether that happens or not, the way that Powell gets on the field more is doing exactly what we just said. Just be in the right spot. You don't have to blow everybody away like Tyreek Hill. You just need to be in the right spot and catch the ball.
And here's the interesting thing. Joe Blademeyer is now the wide receivers coach. Yep. Former wide receiver. A while back, he's just been doing film breakdowns and doing the analytics thing for Andy the last couple of years. But as much as Greg Lewis was a good receiver, comes from that position having played it, so does Blademeyer, like in a different way. And so I think it's going to be really interesting to see who grabs more from Blademeyer and is able to take a step forward with a different coach. I think if I know this coaching staff, they have a snap count or a target count that they want for each of those guys.
Yeah.
And whoever makes the most plays of those opportunities, given that it's going to be, hopefully divided evenly. You never know in game flow. Somebody's going to get more targets than somebody else, but if he can make plays, that's what it's going to come down to. Santana, imagine that you are P and 15 and it's 3rd down. You have Halsey and Killer covered. I know it's unreal, but it happens. What would you want? Who would you want to throw to downfield? Pringle, Gray, Powell, Robinson, maybe Clyde. Clyde would be the first option for me.
Yeah.
But Pringle and Robinson have both shown that they have the ability, especially when the play breaks down and Mahomes starts scrambling, that they adapt to him and they get open for him. They've both made big plays that way. That one really low touchdown pass to Pringle where he had to go down on his knees in the end zone. Robinson with the no look. Like, there's a lot of examples of that. Will we see that from Gray and Powell? That's the question. Who gets there first?
Yeah, I think that these guys have the ability. Gray maybe not so much. Again, it's going to be a completely different atmosphere for him going from Duke into the NFL. Powell was a little different. He played with Lawrence, but again, some of the defenses they played against weren't the best. But again, he smoked Ohio State in the playoffs. Powell was killing some of the best out there. So I think that he's got the skill set. It's all about getting on the field.
Ryan, I'm hearing some stuff. There's a chance they cut Hitch if Bolton and Gay show out in the preseason.
Who says that?
Yeah, I don't know who you're reading, man, but they don't know what they're talking about. And I'm not here to disparage anybody who might be working for a publication that may be on the interweb somewhere. They are not cutting Hitch. They're not going to do it. If they were going to do it, they'd have done it 2 years ago.
Yeah.
they no matter how well Bolton plays, they will not cut Hitch. If nothing else, this is an Alex Smith, Pat Mahomes thing for this season. They want to wring every bit of knowledge out of Hitch into Nick Bolton's head, if nothing else. I guarantee you that will not happen, Ryan. I mean, unless he goes on a rampage or something. Off-field technicalities. Yeah, that's – yeah. Is it Viren? I was saying Varian before. I'm not sure. If Mahomes goes 20-0 in the regular season MVP and Super Bowl MVP and win, what would that do to catch Brady's legacy? Nothing.
Zero. Literally zero.
We in Kansas City are going to talk about Mahomes and Brady for the next 10, 15 years. The league will not.
No.
Brady has sealed it with 8 rings.
7.
7? Is he going? No, I thought it was 8 now.
He doesn't have 8.
I don't know. I don't care.
He's got 6 or 7.
He put himself to the point where Patrick has to get a team around him that can win a Super Bowl 70% of the rest of his career in order to catch him. It's crazy.
I love Patrick. He's not going to do it, and that's from somebody who wants to see him do it. Right. We all want to see him do it. I don't think he's going to do it.
Yeah,
it's so difficult.
Masterpiece. I want it to be Niang. I think it's going to be Remmers.
No.
Julian, I went back to watch CEH in college highlights, and he was very good with screens. Do you see Andy coming back out? More screens to control the time of possession. I would like to, but he just changed up his offensive line. These guys are not as good at screen game as the old line was. Doesn't mean they can't do it. But for me, it makes me think they're going to go away from it a little bit more.
Maybe towards the end of the season when they start to – maybe Andy likes to screw with people early in the season. He knows that the offensive line can't do it yet. So he's going to let it gel. Maybe we start to see it towards the end. And then he's like, hey, playoff comes around. Screen.
Right.
Screen of the death.
I mean, you might see more tunnel screens. You might see them splitting out Clyde and the tight ends for tunnels. Maybe do that. Brett, who do you think is the best tight end duo in history? Gonzalez and Dunn. It's not a question.
I think he's just talking about right now, but I can't tell.
Oh, no.
Oh, was. No, he said was. Never mind.
I'm talking history, yeah. Yeah. Ben, who will our new O-line help make our flight better? Yes. Everyone takes flight. The jet, the cheetah, they all take flight.
That's a great interpretation of that. I'm sorry, Ben. I'm sorry. We can't really understand that one, but I think that Ryan hit it on the head with that interpretation.
Shit. That's the best I could do. Do you guys think he's doesn't make the 53? It's a good question. I think he's down there on the bubble.
Yeah.
I think they want him to, so I think they'll give him every opportunity. He may be a practice squad guy, and that's okay.
Yeah.
They knew when they drafted him that he should have been a UDFA, but they were worried they wouldn't be able to pay him and get him, so that's the way that came down.
Yeah. That's exactly how I see it.
Scott, juicy nicknames to catch on for the new Chiefs. I don't know.
I'm not going to lie to you guys. I haven't thought even remotely close about this, so I'm in the dark. Nicknames aren't really my thing.
No?
I'm really, really terrible at it.
Quick UDFA that they should watch.
During this one, it wasn't Key one?
Yeah.
Key, I think Key is probably the guy you want to watch the most. I think he's going to push Watts I really do, especially with him not practicing. I think it's going to be an area you can look at him possibly making this roster.
I agree. I would say Riley Cole and DOD too.
Yeah.
Similar skill sets.
Very much.
Gary, do you see Cornell Powell playing the number 3 receiver position? Yeah, I mean, we see him coming up. Dan, I think probably is a little more optimistic. I'm still going Pringle. I think he's going to be right in the mix, though.
And this really depends. If Hardman takes a step, guys, if he takes a step, he's going to push for more playing time. That's going to knock everyone down the pecking order a little bit. So we're projecting as right now where we don't have, at least that's what I'm doing. I'm projecting that there isn't a huge bump from anyone, Pringle, Robinson, or Hardman. But if that happens, that's going to push everyone down the pecking order. So that's my projection based on what we've seen. And since we haven't seen any of that to now, that's all I have to go on.
Hey, Max Silverman, I'm not going to put you on screen. There is no Chiefs hate. We tell it like it is. So if you're here for fanboy, that ain't us. You can go down to Chat Sports or whatever and check them out. This ain't it. Jeremy, who out there in the entire rookie class of 2021 has the highest ceiling? Wow, the best player in this class?
The entire I mean, are we talking about for the Chiefs?
Maybe. Let's do that. Because I don't want to think about the alternative.
I don't either.
My brain was starting to hurt already. I mean, wow. I
have my answer.
Go.
It's going to be Creed Humphrey. I think he's going to be an all-pro center, like legit all-pro center.
Okay. I can live with that. I was going to go out a little bit farther on a limb. I think he's going to start slowly, but I think Trey Smith can be that good as well. I just don't know if he can get there from here.
We'll see.
Yeah.
If he was in a different system, I would agree with you.
Right, exactly. and it's about how much they adapt this season, because I think they are going to be adapting something.
Yeah.
Ben, thank you as always. You are a monster tonight. I think that Ward lacks aggression, and he seems scatterbrained a little bit. I don't think it's an aggression thing. I think he misses his punch a lot, to tell you the truth. He wants to press, and that's fairly aggressive, but I don't know. I wish I could
he second guesses himself, because if he misses in press, guess what? He knows he's getting beat. So scatterbrain may be a different way I would approach it, but I think that he second guesses himself a lot.
Yeah, that's fair. Joshua, that's a very good point. And yes, I do. I think he can play. You've seen him come off and do those, nickel to a high half dives. He actually picked off Phillip Rivers doing that once. I think it was the Mexico game that year.
Yeah.
Like he can play in space. I definitely think that he could do that and be a space defender at some point.
Yeah. I like him as that third safety option as well. Like he has that ability to play a little bit here, a little bit there. I think he doesn't have the athleticism as Kendall Fuller did, but I think he definitely has the versatility.
Michael, this is going to sound bad. Don't take it personally. Anyone else who feels like Snead is the next coming, you guys know that Snead's my guy. I would let him take his lumps on Odell. I don't care if he gets beat. I'm okay with that. He will learn from it. I agree, but at least you're dressed, hon.
Hi, did you use the potty?
Yeah.
Well,
No.
you got an M&M?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
good job.
I love you.
It's a family show around here, folks.
Bedtime, buttercup.
But I would let Spag. I would let Spag or ask Spags to let Snead get his lumps against Odell. He's going to get beat. He's going to learn from it. But I think that'll make him all the better, to tell you the truth. And quite frankly, I would try to stay out of dime. I'd stay out of nickel if I could, but I try to pack that box because I am scared of Nick Chubb.
And you should be. He's the best running back in the NFL. Like, that offensive line's scary. I think that it'll be a fairly decent back and forth game in week one. But at the end of the day, like you said, he's got to get some lumps out because he never really faced a challenge.
Yeah.
Like,
I think he's up for it.
I do too. I want to see it.
Can we get Baby Dan on Thursdays instead of the imposter?
You know what? I got a surprise for you guys for a Thursday. So you just wait, okay? Ryan, I got some surprises coming up. So
this is going to be entertaining. Baby Dan is what we're going to call her now, huh? Okay. Michael, Chiefs player, nobody is talking about. And who should it be? Oof. Go if you got it, Dan.
See, the thing about us is we talk about everybody.
Right. Yeah.
So it gets hard to really talk about, like, so no one's talking about that we should be talking about. Maybe it's simple as just saying Joe Thuney. Like, he's just, no one talks about him. Like, I literally haven't, since he got signed, it's just been, he's just going to be the left guard. I think that even though I did say earlier, I don't believe he's going to be an all-pro, he's still going to be like a great left guard for this team. He's going to help solidify that offensive line early as well. So it's really, I think that he's probably just a simple answer to say that, Joe Thuney.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it's an unglamorous position.
It is.
It makes sense.
Derek Nottie also, by the way.
That's exactly where I was going. Like, the guy that's going to get nothing in terms of accolades, that's going to put out every single game.
Derek Nottie is a dude.
Nottie.
He's a dude.
I just hope they just go resign him now. He's going to be cheap either way, and he's just a grinder. I like that guy's game. Masterpiece, you're correct. I was dumb. Sorry. I'm overinflating the GOAT already, I guess. And it's hard for me to say that because I still think Montana was a better quarterback. You guys can –
There's a ton of better quarterbacks.
Yeah, and that's my point, is he was successful and he was a better quarterback. I would still put Montana 1, but I am clearly in the minority at this point.
Physical attributes, I mean, I'd put Marino better. Like, it is just –
Elway with the helicopter, sure.
There are a ton of quarterbacks that were better than Tom Brady. I just feel like he's the best mentally – the most intelligent quarterback to ever play the game. I think Tom Brady is that.
Yeah. Scott, I think you misread some of his comments unless I missed something. He was talking about not being half a step behind. It was a physical thing. Not as much confidence in that knee. But I mean, we told you guys at the time that we thought he wasn't 100%. And a lot of people argued with this at the time, but it's clear that that's the way that it works. I'm just excited because I take away that Juan Thornhill isn't somebody that's got a lot of brag in him. He's not like a big boisterous, like put stuff out there that ain't true. Yeah. When he said he's 100%, I believe it.
I do too.
So I think that's all he needs. That Spags and Tyrant in either ear, he's going to be great. Yeah. I will admit, Savage and he were my number 1 and number 2. Juan was my top safety in his class. Savage caught up to him last season.
Darnell is good. Savage is good.
I think Juan can get out front of him again, though.
Yeah.
Phil, thank you. Appreciate the support. Finally caught alive. Good job. My schedule never allows it. I'm glad that you made it this time then. Bigger T-shirts. Okay. Yeah, I agree. Unfortunately, the vendor that we're with now, their supply is sporadic when you get in anything above XL. So I am still trying to double it down and find a better supplier, and we're going to work on that. The hard part is it makes it less convenient because you can't tie it into the channel like we are now, but that's all right. I'm just going to come up with a whole new store, when I finish the other 18,000 things on my to-do list.
So never.
Don't tell my wife. She keeps adding to it too. Casey, do you think the teams have caught up to the Chiefs, or is it going to be a while with what you've seen this offseason? I don't know. Caught up?
So I think they were catching up last year, and the offensive line was a pretty good indication that I think they would have caught up, even though they blew the Bills out in that AFC Championship game. They were running away. It was 35-13 at one point. Like, that game was over.
Yeah, but I mean, talent-wise, if it isn't for Schwartz and Fish both getting hurt at different points in the season, talent-wise, even with Ryder on the offensive line and whatever deficits you had at linebacker, I think I would still say that there were not many teams that were catching up to them.
See, and that's the thing, is they were both getting older, so there is that a little bit to it as well. But I think that the Browns, and don't take this the wrong way, guys, don't take it the wrong way, have the most complete roster, talent, all at just about every single level in the AFC, even right now compared to the Chiefs. If this offensive line becomes top 5, it's over. It doesn't matter what. catching up happens, because Mahomes with time, that's it.
Yeah. It is the X factor.
Yeah.
Dre, the place that I was talking about last time is the new place, Kansas City and came to Denver. It's called GQ Barbecue. There are 2 locations, as I understand, but there's one down in Park Meadows area. Gooch, I'm actually going to support Dan and root for Powell early if that means I don't have to see you, Rob. Thank you for the super chat, Gooch, as always, and for everything that you're doing recording wise. You guys are going to see more of him come the season. Be ready. Let's see. Doug, I think we covered you. Max. Okay. I'm glad to hear that. I'm sorry if I jumped the gun. I'm getting sick and tired of people that are pseudo Chiefs fans coming into this chat and telling me that we're not fans enough, because that ain't what I do. So apologies if I jumped on you there, Max. I didn't mean to single you out too bad. So I take it.
Appreciate you being a good sport about it. It's not always about a direct attack.
And sometimes I'm a jerk too. I mean, let's face it. Ask the wife. She'll tell you. Eric, how do you think that the 3 preseason games will be divided up in time each game between starters, backers, and others? That's the big question. Are they still going to treat it? Because while they lost a game, they aren't losing a week. There's like 2 weeks before the final preseason game and when you start to get ready for your week 1 matchup. So maybe that makes the coaches feel like, okay, we could still do the starters for half in the 3rd preseason game because they have the rest time or the recoup time. I don't know. I hope not.
I think we might just see a lot of players that aren't going to be starters. That's what I would be assuming is going to happen. We'll see.
I hope.
Yeah, I agree.
I would like to see the starters play the first half of the 2nd game.
Yeah.
That's what I'd like to see. DTKC, yards, TDs, picks, and final score of game 1. Who's the game 1 opponent? Is that the Cleveland Browns?
Yeah, we are playing the Browns in week 1.
Okay.
So are we talking total yards, or are we just talking like Mahomes yards? Because I assume that's what you're talking about.
Let's just do offense. How's that? Not care about what the Cleveland offense does. Just Chiefs offense and score.
Okay, so right now Mahomes is throwing for 500 yards on that defense. With that new offensive line. I think they're gonna put up enough points the Browns will to keep it to the point where Mahomes keep throwing the ball. But I think 450 to 500 is saying something. I'm going to say 5 touchdowns, 1 pick, and Chiefs win 45-24.
Wow, pretty good. I'll say 363, 4. No picks thrown, but the Chiefs defense comes up with 2, and they win 38-28. I don't know. Just made that up completely.
Yeah, it's too early for me to be honest with you, but we'll do this again on the pregame show that we have before week 1, like we're going to do before every game. So this is fun for now, but it's not what I really will think of it coming on to it.
And you guys, I'll try to use this space up here for like scheduling and whatever. When we do streams, I'll try to put everything up there. But the game plan is the video on Fridays that tells you what we think, not only what they will do, but what they should do to get that win that week. We do that together every week. You guys will dig that if you have not seen it before in years past. Okay. Wow, we're way over. I didn't realize that. I'm going to be in trouble here in a minute. They're probably waiting for me for dinner. So we're going to wrap these up with the last couple super chats. Thank you all for being here and for all the questions. Stevie, Max's comment was about all the trolls in the chat, and not you two. Okay, cool. 74 cents for Jeff, 76 cents for Aaron. Thank you, Stevie. We appreciate that. And you're not wrong about that last one either. So, yeah. Buy shirts, folks. Buy shirts. Although the manufacturers get some of that too. Yeah. Miss Holly, thank you.
Thank you, Holly.
And thank you for being here. We appreciate that.
Appreciate that.
There is a ladies section of the Discord, folks. If you would like, if there are any ladies out there that are unsure about that, becoming a member to go get in there, there's definitely some of that. And I'm trying to get the wife to join too. She doesn't know what Discord is. She knows football pretty well. She doesn't care about tech things like Reddit and Discord. And so she's like, huh? What? Austin Edmondson, thank you for your super chat. Broncos fans loved Will Parks for doing the dirty work in the secondary, similar to how we feel about Dirty Dan. Opinions on him and his role with us. He is the fourth safety. Easily. But I don't think he's like Dan is in terms of the physicality. Yeah. I think he's more of a play high to a middle rather than a middle to a box.
You might see him more in two deep safety sets, switching in and out.
Right. And I mean, if Juan's 100%, they can go single high. They can play 3s and 1s all year long, and I'm comfortable with that. If he gets a little banged up or when they want to mix it up, I would rather see Will Parks on the field diving deep and letting Tyrant stay in a robber up close than having Dan try to do it or having Fenton drop from a nickel. But Spags is going to do that from time to time just to keep everybody on their toes.
As always. That's what he does.
All right, last couple, and we'll get out of here. We're already losing, folks. I understand it's late. My fault. That was Holly. Thank you again, Holly.
Thank you.
Zulu, thank you. Appreciate the support. Let's see. Did I get everyone on there? Looks like it. Okay, so that was the last super chat. Any cleanup questions? Nope. Everybody is good. So thank you. Thank you for editing the daughter on that shot there, Dan.
I tried. I really didn't want it to go up because I know that even though she's 2, it's not exactly just hey, there's a naked baby. Everyone wants to see it.
Right.
So
hey, stuff happens. Dan's got something for you tomorrow. I'm trying to finish up the Noah Gray for Wednesday. Hopefully we'll have that up for you. If not, I'll have something else for you without a doubt. Seth on Thursday. We're going to keep this thing rolling. Get ready. Oh, Aaron, thank you very much. If you guys are starter level and up and you haven't gotten in Discord yet, this is your chance. Email me at this address right here. Again, Max, sorry if I jumped on you too hard. Apologies. Because, that I got a sore spot right here, and it just kind of went like that to me. So apologies, buddy. You guys have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.